I've come up to the plot. I've really got to plant out my main crop potatoes, those Sarpo mirrors. Let's have a quick look at them. There they are in the bag. They're all going soft on the bottom. So yeah, they are the priority. Hardly got any battery life left on the camera, so there's going to be no fancy edits, so I'm just going to dig the trenches and get them in. Trench 1 is dug. It's not pretty, it's not clever, the potatoes aren't going to mind. There are the first 3 specimens. You know the score, right? You just plant them chits facing up. There we go. Spacing them about 12 inches apart, maybe. Carry on in the same way. 6 little soldiers in that trench. I'm about to add some potato fertilizer. Now I know some of you get a little bit sniffy about adding potato fertilizer. This is the organic stuff, so it gets a thumbs up from me. I use it every year, and every year I get potatoes. Finally, insert a stick at the end of a row, just to show you where it is you've planted your potatoes, and then repeat the process for each row that you plant. 3 rows of potatoes planted and earthed up. Apparently there's a threat of frost later on this week, but they should be okay under the ground. I'm not too worried about them. I'm only doing 3 rows of potatoes this year. I'm slowly coming around to growing my spuds in pots and tubs rather than up on the plot. I can use this space for other veg that the rabbits might like. Are you sick and tired of hearing me going on about the rabbits up on my plot week in, week out? Because I am. Anyhow, they're still here. Let me show you quickly. I planted a row of lettuce. You can just about see them. Sacrificial plants, I must add, just to see if there were any varmints still around, and it looks like there are, as you can see, chewed right down to almost the core. I might just treat this as a cut and come again row and just allow them to help themselves. Yeah, so there you go. They're still on here, enjoying themselves. One of my subs asked in the last video, I think it was, how my dahlias were getting on. You remember earlier on in the season I planted 4 or 5 dahlia tubers in here. Let me just zoom in a little bit there. There we go. Camera work, eh? As you can see, this one is starting to shoot, as is that one there. Bought myself some sweet peas. I didn't get round to planting any at home. I've gone for the giant Spencer waved mix. Never grown this variety before. If you've never grown sweet peas before, or bought sweet peas like I have in this case, I can highly recommend them. They've got the strongest, one of the strongest scented flowers that I've ever smelt, and they really are, they give you so much bang for your buck when it comes to the scent. So yeah, if you've never grown these, go out and buy yourself some from your local garden centre, or you might still be able to pop some seeds into the soil and get a few plants going. at this stage of the season. Look at that, made by a fella called Heath Robinson. This is just to try and deter the rabbits, because I know from previous experience that they love sweet peas. But once they get established and they get a bit old and tough, that's for sweet peas, not the rabbits, then the rabbits don't like them as much. They only like them at this stage when they're young and tender. Look at Fort Lupin. If anybody wants to use this particular design when it comes to protecting your plants, do get in touch, because it's copyrighted by myself. As you can see, what a magnificent structure it is. This is the blue lupin that PBA bought for me, and I'm determined that it's not going to get touched by any critter. So yeah, that's looking good. It's getting late in the day, the light is not so good, which might be a benefit for you guys when it comes to looking at this ugly mug. Before I go, I've got to sow my favourite, one of my favourite crops, beetroot. You guys see that? Pablo F1 variety, the same as always. Let's get to it. Okay, 1 and a bit rows of beetroot planted. You can see where the lettuce were. This contraption was built by myself and my dad early on in the season. We thought we'd create a bit of a, would you call it a seed bed? Just a bed whereby we can get plants started off, drape the insect mesh over them, and then hopefully the rabbits and pests will leave them alone, because once the vegetables do get established, they tend not to bother them for some reason. I don't know. Anyhow, I'll put that over here and go home. So then, the mesh is now covering my beetroot and lettuce, but it was the mesh that was covering my stirring onions, which leaves them kind of exposed. But rabbits, they don't like onions, do they?